A stark new warning on artificial intelligence, and this one is coming from inside the House. Last week, Anthropic released a report about one of its own new models called Claude Mythos Preview. In it, the company warned the program was too powerful to be released to the public. Mythos is designed to find security flaws in software. The trouble is, it may actually be too good at its job, and Anthropic is worried about it falling into the wrong hands. And if that happens, Anthropic says, quote, the fallout for economies, public safety, and national security could be severe. Joining us now is former AI company founder and CEO Matt Schumer. He's a venture capitalist, and he's author of that viral article that we shared here on the show, Something Big is Happening. Matt, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So Anthropic says this AI model identified vulnerabilities in every major system, from banking to technology to companies. Help us understand what could happen if this technology falls into the wrong hands, and what is this technology?
So let's start there. What is this? So Claude Mythos is the next generation of Anthropic's AI technology. It was trained to be a generally smarter AI. But the thing that's slightly worrisome about this is that even though it was trained to be generally smarter, it wasn't trained for one specific thing. When they tested it after it came out of the oven, for lack of a better term, it developed one new capability that they were terrified of, which is its ability to hack. It was over 5 times better than the previous generation of models they introduced literally months earlier.
Wow.
Now that's very, very powerful because this model can get into almost any software in the world. Software controls almost everything we do. This isn't just Slack and Salesforce. This is power grids. This is water systems. This is banking. So they did something pretty amazing if you think about it. They are about to IPO. They need to show as much profit as possible, and this thing is so smart that it could be effectively a money printer.
Yeah.
Instead of releasing this, they said, no, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to give this to the folks that need to use it to secure the systems that we rely on for our daily life so that they can get ahead of everybody else, because in 6 to 12 months, Anthropic knows if they have this capability today, every other AI lab that matters will have this too, and they might not treat it the same way.
What does it say to you that they came out and did this publicly? Because, as you say, they could have kept this to themselves and continued to make a lot of money, especially with an IPO coming. What does it say to you about this company?
It's unbelievable. I have never seen something like this, a company that is about to IPO having such a moral compass. It's not something you see every day. It is wildly impressive.
Okay, so Matt, part of me says, well, this is a company announcing that they have created something so powerful, essentially a pat on the back. This is how good we are. But then another part of me, it scares the daylights out of me. So you say this isn't something that we should be overly concerned about, but it's also something that we should take serious.
Yes.
Which one is it? Because I am confused.
As am I, and as is everybody in the industry, right? Because you should be keeping an eye on this, but it's not time to panic quite yet. But I understand why you might think that that's the way to go, right? Because if this goes in the negative direction, it could be disastrous. Think about what software controls. It controls a lot of the systems that our daily lives run on. What happens if this gets into a banking system? What could be done there? So many different things. But the hope is that the way that Anthropic is approaching this is that the good guys can get there first and secure these systems, right? They're giving this to the bank, for example, so that the bank can take the next few months before others catch up and harden their systems so that they have more of a moat.
Most of the good guys are trying to make money.
Yeah. So let's talk about how this could affect us globally from an economic and from a political standpoint. The president is set to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. There's this upcoming summit. People believe that AI should be at the top of the discussion list. But the question that I have is, does it matter if we think about the world as far as our traditional enemies or our traditional adversaries, China, Iran, Russia? Because anybody who has access to this technology becomes a threat.
Absolutely. So AI is incredibly powerful. And if it falls into the wrong hands, and the wrong hands have access to it, it allows them to increase their position in the world. Think about how smart this is and what it can do. So yeah, you're correct in that the traditional enemies we're seeing aren't necessarily the only ones we should be worried about. However, I would say they are the most important ones to look at and take into account, because they are going to keep increasing the capabilities of their models, and that can lead them to do things that maybe we wouldn't be super happy with. We are keeping pace, and we actually are quite a bit ahead right now, but there's a chance that gap closes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this turns out like it does in the movies and the good guys win in the end.
Who are the good guys, though?
That's the question. Matt Schumer, thank you so much. We appreciate you.